Yeah. Turn the lights down. I'm in my zone.
Let's get this episode done.
All right. Y'all ready?
Turn the lights down. Get me in my zone.
All right, let's do this.
All right. Yo, what is going on? This is the Highly Advised podcast. We are back after our long hiatus. We feel good, well rested, and ready to bring recent events and other news that is important to us, to you, the viewers. Happy Father's Day. Happy Juneteenth. All of those holidays that just passed. Do us a favor and follow us on YouTube at the Highly Advised Podcast, Advise Highly on Twitter, and Highly Advised Podcast on Instagram. How are you guys doing this week?
Whoa. You forgot to say something, brother.
What did I forget?
You know what today is, right?
What's that?
Today's Thursday. You know what Thursday is?
What's that?
Episode 100 of the Highly Advised Podcast.
Oh,
this is a milestone. Anybody that's been here from episode 1 to 100, like if you've been here from 1 to 100, 0, if you heard before when we put stuff out, this is episode 100, guys. We finally crossed the threshold.
Yep. That's all I got to say to my listeners, to my people. Yep. You already know who I am. And if you don't, you're a dumbass. You're a loser. You're a sack of shit. All right, guys, what we talk about today? Episode 100. Let's go.
This is episode 100. Wow. How do you want to start the story? Like when we started the podcast, we were recording. I remember the first episode was about the whole Kendrick Lamar Lil Wayne thing, but like how did the podcast come about exactly?
All right. It's story time with a living embodiment of knowledge. Yes, I'm bringing that name back for episode 100. You hear me? So I'm going to rewind time back, a couple years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. I don't know. It could be even longer. Who fucking knows? But what I'm going to say, though, to the listeners and to the viewers and to the fans and the supporters is way back then, I kid you not, I had an idea. It sparked in my head and I was like, damn, maybe we could do a podcast because we always talk about shit. We always get into deep conversations about shit. And I felt like some of the conversations we did have were entertaining. Some of it were funny. Sometimes there were debates, but I just felt like, why waste all this breath and good air that we're producing, and let's put it on something. Let's get it documented. Let's get it recorded. Let's put it in the archives. Archaeologists, will discover this about 100 years later, and it'll be like, wow, 3 young brothers that spoke the enlightenment, the knowledge. Wow, no wonder why our world is so great today, because these 3 changed it. That's right, listeners. We changed the game. So basically, on a more serious note, for real, I always listen to podcasts. I always listen to different topics and shit. And like I said, we always have conversations, no matter it's music, sports, even shit like political shit amongst the 3 of us. And I just felt like, yo, why don't we just do a fucking podcast? Why don't we talk about this shit and let's just see where this go? If it takes us to the moon where we're making multi-millions and billions and trillions, that's awesome. But if we're not, let's just do it anyway, because you never know, because it only takes that one thing for us to blow up or catch like wildfire or whatever the fuck. That's my interpretation and my vision on why we started doing the podcast. You guys might have a different outlook, but I looked at it as a why not type of thing. It was definitely like, hey, let's just actually do this, and then let's see where it fucking goes. And then here we are, and I think we're a lot better. Way back from episode 1, way back from the test runs. We're a lot better now. I think we'll be a lot better in the next 100 episodes and the next 100 after that. And listeners, by the time we get to episode 200, we'll probably be so fucking rich that you guys won't even need to beg for your support. You guys I'm just joking.
Nah, yeah.
Well, how do you see it, Spence?
Nah, I mean, for the most part, a lot of what Lau said, I agree with, or just in the sense of like, yo, more often now, a lot of the conversations we had about music, politics, whatever was going on, we had just catching up with each other. So only thing, like I tell people, only thing that changed for the most part was that the conversations we would typically have, maybe we talk about some things we typically may have never crossed our paths sometimes now, but it's rare, I would say. But for the most part, it's conversations we would have on the phone, hanging out, whatever the case may be. So to me, that's the main thing. And then like, even like Lau said, bro, like 100 years from now, this will probably exist. Or heck, when we're 90 years old, 80, 90 years old, 100 years old. Like, I mean, heck, they even say we're supposed to live to be 110. So when we like 105, imagine you just saying, yo, let me go pull out this thing from like 60, 70 years ago.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's man, history in a sense, because we put it out publicly, so that now we're a part of history in some shape or form. It might be obscured in X amount of years, or it might not be, but regardless, we are a part of human history now. We put our footprint. We mean a lot more than the listeners and viewers.
Definitely, man. Look, bro, like I gotta tell you, I don't know about y'all, bro.
I'm just joking, listeners.
I don't know about y'all, but like I've definitely had those moments when I had like downtime. Oh, I'm gonna just surf the internet of things maybe from high school, whatever. And you'll find yourself looking at videos that came out when you're in high school that you never knew of. And then you're like, oh, let me track to see what this person does now. And they're still doing something. So it's like you kind of get a way of like the thing I've realized is a lot of times it's stuff that we put out today, people are going to discover 10 years, 20 years from now that we don't know. We've never seen them before. They'll probably never know us. We might not meet them until we're at like a conference or we're giving like a live podcast one day.
It's true. That's very true.
Yeah. So it's like, you just never know what we offer could do to somebody else, especially with the power of the internet. Nothing dies on the internet.
I would hope that one day our words help people more than, they can have the ability to hurt people, I guess. So, definitely not. I hope
it influences them. It teaches them how to get some money, be smart. You know what I mean? Get off your ass. Wash your ass.
I knew you was going to say something. I was waiting for it.
Nah, it's funny because me and Lau, or at least I should say, me and Lau tried to start a podcast way back in the day about video games.
Shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Way back in the day. That was one.
Shit.
Did I know y'all?
We tried to start a podcast.
I don't know. It's if you weren't cool with us, this is probably like right before we started being cool with you.
Yeah.
But that's how early this was.
Jeez, yeah. So that's early. That's early because
we were ahead of the game. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Listen, man. I think the closest thing I have to a podcast is like a couple hip hop conversations with me and a couple friends, like me, Keith, and Gerard. Like,
shouts out to them homeboys.
Yeah, like. Oh, and even then, it's like, yo, we should do a podcast, and you have like a couple clips that you could listen back to today. So like, it's crazy to see how like in different paths we all kind of are like in different paths prior to meeting each other or whatever, or hanging out at certain moments. Yeah. We all kind of were in the same gel and stuff. So
yeah, we got a lot better in the span of like these 100 episodes. Definitely
listen to
people.
episode 1 lately.
I can't remember the last time I listened to episode 1, but it's not our best effort to say the least.
I'm gonna go back and listen to it before whenever this like releases on the motherfucking platforms and shit. I'm gonna go back and listen to episode 1 just to see like, damn, we was really shitty back then.
Yeah, right. Bruh, horrible, Terabella and Terabella. Like, I think that's when we had. Actually, a fun fact. Right? Okay. You realize we only did 3 episodes together, like 4 episodes together out of 100 episodes, like in person. Because we did it like right before the coronavirus hit, I think.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, because I think we started working on it like in January or February.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we picked a date. It was like a wrestling event, all types of stuff. Then we went to see UFC and everything like that year. But yeah, and then next thing you know, boom, like it's kind of crazy. We've been doing this for so long. Like to do this for so long, especially like the circumstances with the pandemic. So you should actually listen to our takes because our first episode comes out, I think, the first week of quarantine.
Yeah. And we all, I remember I was like, yeah, it won't last past May.
I mean, I think everybody was kind of like that. Now, look at us now. We're like, it felt like we got through 2 pandemics.
Pandemic and pandemic.
Yeah,
Definitely the pandemic.
You can't forget about the pandemic, man.
Well, speaking of that, what's been going on with y'all recently? I know y'all seeing gas prices. You know, everything's through the roof. Food's expensive. Places to live are expensive. Movies are expensive. Everything is expensive.
Hey, man. It's just nothing but a hustler's paradise, man. That means you just gotta hustle harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta hustle harder. Fortunately for me, I don't gotta fucking hustle. I am blessed. Thank God I am blessed. God is the greatest. But on a serious note, though, for real, man, everything skyrocketing prices wise, gas, food is really crazy out there because there's really people out there in the community that are fucking decided like, damn, if I spend this money, put the gas in the car to go to work, I might have to short myself when it comes to groceries.
Yep.
And, you know, motherfuckers might be used to eating steak, lobster, salmon, you know what I mean? Or taking their shorty out to the Brazilian steakhouse. You know what I mean? But now they got to cut that shit all down. They got to cut that shit down. They got to cut that shit down. Now they got to live life more on survival mode. And now they got to be more realistic with their funds and their economic situation at home. And it's crazy because gas right now, I mean, I think some states they're kind of like $4.99, $4.80 something, and all that shit. But on the average, it's like $5 up across the motherfucking board, you know. And I feel like that does impact a lot of working people, and it's just a crazy time, sad time, especially if you're a fucking adult with responsibilities. You got it the worst. So, and then the shit about groceries is crazy. It's super crazy. You know, now you got to pick and choose what you got to eat and shit because you might not have no motherfucking money. Hey, you got to get toilet paper because you got to, you know, you need personal hygiene. Got to get the toothpaste. You know, that shit costs about $20, $30. So I'm just saying.
Where are you shopping? Where are you shopping? Yeah. You're not even feeling inflation if you're paying $20 for toothpaste. For a tube of toothpaste, $23.
Shopping at the Versace boutique.
Like, no, it's the same toothpaste as anybody else. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It just got those initials on it. That's all. So,
that's crazy,
bro. $2.30 for some toothpaste, you got it, Chief.
That's crazy. I mean, you shouldn't be paying no $1 for a tooth. If you paying $1 for toothpaste, you either got super clean teeth, you're on top of your shit, or your teeth is fucked up and you need to be on top of your shit.
I don't even think they sell toothpaste for that price.
No, I think
they do. If you get a dollar, like the dollar store or something like that.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Now, if you get like a little travel pack, like damn, you know, I'm gonna be in Seattle for a few days, or you know, I'm going to Hong Kong or something. Yeah, you get yourself a little dollar thing because you only going to be there for a couple of days. But you know, at your crib, you got the $1 baking soda shit where you got to make the toothpaste yourself.
Hold on. You bringing it back to a whole nother level.
I'm just saying.
Right.
What did I say, man? You used to heat up a home with a stove, man. Come on.
Came a long way.
Yeah.
Some people are probably feeling like that right now, though, with the prices the way they are.
That's true. It's very unfortunate for those people. And hopefully this economy doesn't beat them up too bad where it's going to set them back.
It's crazy because I'm thinking like, I know a lot of people are just having a hard time just getting to their jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Bro, listen, gas is at an all-time high. Like, I think what's the most you paid for a gallon of gas so far?
Uh,
Right around 80.
Yeah, I was gonna say my max is in the $80 range. The most was 85.
Well, no, I'm saying a gallon. How much a
Oh, a
gallon?
gallon?
Yeah.
Like right under $5, $4.99.
Yeah, same. I have to concur with Nigel.
Yeah, I think the most I've paid so far is $5.37. I think.
Damn,
Yeah.
shit. They might as well round your shit up to 550, Spence.
Bro,
might as well round it up.
Bro, listen, I'll put like, I think I just filled. I was like, yo, I just need to tap it out, so I got enough to get me to the real gas station, and I just kept it pushing. So
yeah, man, I'm not paying no more than $100, man, because that shit. I already told myself, I'm like, oh, I don't need my tank to be filled up that bad. If I'm going exceeding $100, fuck that, bro. I'll just $99.99 and I'll be cool with that shit.
The prediction is that gas is going to be $7 by the end of the summer. So like they're saying it's not going down anytime soon. It's kind of crazy, actually.
yes,
I just feel like I was having a conversation with a particular individual, and I was like, I wonder what's going to happen. What is going to be the dollar amount where the average working person is going to be like, shit, I don't know if I could go into work. And I'm telling you right now, a lot of people are affected right now with this bitch being $5. Now, if you're talking about $7, God forbid 8, 9, and anything more, but it's going to get to a point where you're going to see a lot of people, a large amount of people are like, yo, I don't know if I could go to work, bro. Like my gas can't carry me like that because the gas prices are too fucking high. And not everybody is working a job where they're making 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever the fuck. Some people are not even making over 50,000 a year. And those people are the ones that's getting the real shaft. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know, I'm not no politician. I know Spence and Nigel, you guys, you know, run your own political parties. So.
I got a question for y'all though.
You're funny.
All right, so look, right. So like a lot of people are talking about the way we travel and like a way to fix it, right? So in your guys' opinion, what would be more effective, right? Like a fully solar powered car or a better public transportation system than what we have right now? Like better trains or something along those lines.
Better public transportation.
Yes, I agree. If you're thinking about from an economic standpoint, public transportation is the way to go. Now, if you're thinking about like privacy and convenience and leisure, then probably the solar shit that you mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah, because I can't see like. Don't get me wrong. I think the solar power would be more convenient, like especially privacy wise, and you typically get to wherever you got to get to quicker in a car than like on a bus or a train. But like, just in terms of like, I mean, we've all been in New York City, like, very efficient train system.
Yeah,
millions of people coming in and out of that city. I'm quite sure the large percentage of that whole city rides on trains or public transportation. So like, I think that would be much better. But I mean, at some point we're going to see some type of change. This kind of reminds me of like the opposite in the 80s where they had the gas shortage. So, there's definitely they'll definitely find some way though.
I feel like we're right on the brink of some type of new like innovation, and I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be, but I know that Internet Explorer is going away, so we're definitely moving on to something different.
Yeah,
man,
definitely are.
Honestly, what I want to say about that is just that end of a motherfucking era. Because I remember when I was a little motherfucking kid running around on that Macintosh computer, Windows 2000, running up that Internet Explorer, going to motherfucking newgrounds.com, you know, all that shit. Now the days are over, man. Those days are done, and it's part of the times. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not too fucking sad. I'm just like, hey, we got better internet now. I don't even fuck with it. So
I don't know one person. Well, I guess after I messaged the group chat, one person who uses the like I guess original like browser when you just open up your computer. Almost everybody I know uses Chrome.
You talk about the default browser?
Yep, the default browser. Yeah. So like everybody I know uses Chrome or Firefox or some shit that isn't Internet Explorer. So
right,
to me, this is no surprise. I'm actually surprised that it's still been around. And honestly, it kind of is. It's just going to be Microsoft Edge now. That's all.
Yeah, that's Microsoft Edge is Internet Explorer 2.0.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. It's much better, easier interface. It's everybody at Microsoft loves it. Even the CEO does. Hey, Internet Explorer is done.
Yeah, it's I mean, everything has its peak, a rise and fall at the end of the day, man. Like this place, like I think I can't. Well, I mean, I can remember a few times where people still used it, but in comparison of efficiency, it paled in comparison. So, I mean, it's into another era, but I think it's also a sign of just like how at some point the same things that we use today will eventually be in the same space where we'll actually be in awe. So definitely with 3.0, that whole situation. So
yeah, that's gonna blow shit up.
Yeah, I could definitely see Internet Explorer being like a vintage thing where people appreciate the nostalgia of it. I noticed that's kind of a thing with entertainment these days where people like the old early 2000s technology. They try to make it cool, like flip phones and shit like that. So I think Internet Explorer, it'll find that type of home in the future. But right now, the only people that give a fuck are probably the people that worked on the code on Internet Explorer.
Yeah, I mean, I can say this, like they probably will, and who knows? Hopefully they end up having the children that come up with the idea, but more likely, because like how you're saying, like in the future, I wouldn't be surprised if like someone does like some type of simulator in like 10 or 15 years of like, oh, Internet Explorer. And who knows? By that time, we'll probably be able to live virtually anyway. So you'll be able to live inside of the IE Explorer, but that'd be pretty interesting.
It's crazy when you talk about like virtually and whatnot, because I know people are watching basketball games virtually now. Like it's you can get on your Oculus and watch basketball games and shit like that.
Yeah,
like you're actually there.
Yeah, have you ever tried it?
I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to.
I did it once on the Oculus, like alone, like initially, like probably like during the holidays. It's not the same. It's definitely not the same, but it's like it's about as good as you can get because it's like courtside. But
I mean, imagine using an Oculus and being courtside when the motherfucking Golden State Warriors won their 4th NBA championship in 8 years, 6 years, whatever the fuck. So I think that would have been a nice experience if you're an Oculus user. You would have been excited, like you were right there in Boston when the Boston fans were fucking upset, jaw dropped that their team shit the bed. Well, more specifically, Jason Tatum shit the bed. I don't know if you guys checked out the NBA Finals. This goes to the listeners, to my colleagues, to the viewers, to the fans and supporters. The Golden State Warriors are back on top of the mountain, back as the basketball gods that they were. So shouts out to Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, even old ass Andre Iguodala. Shouts out to the injured James Wiseman because that motherfucker didn't do shit because he was injured. You know what I mean? Oh, can't forget about Andrew Wiggins. That motherfucker stepped his game all the way the fuck up. Gary Payton II. That motherfucker, he balled out on defense. Shouts out to the Golden State Warriors. I'm so happy because I didn't fuck with the Boston Celtics. Fuck the Boston Celtics. This is not a Boston Celtics podcast. Fuck Boston Celtics. Let's get a chant going, guys.
Yeah. Fuck Boston. I'm glad they lost as well. I was talking to my coworker today, and I was just like, I think that Boston, they were looking a lot of the times, or I should say more specifically, players like Marcus Smart are looking to get a foul before they're trying to just score some points. And then you got Steph over there shooting as many threes as his heart can. You know what I mean? So like, He was going crazy. Jordan Poole was going crazy. I think that the team is not only good right now, but they're going to be good for like the next few years. Like I keep on saying it to most people, like this is one of the only few dynasties we got in sports right now. My friend was telling me it's this and the Tampa Bay team for NHL, and that's it.
Oh, the Lightning. That it's crazy because the Lightning, they're in the Stanley Cup Finals right now.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, listeners, when you get this episode, the Stanley Cup Finals, we can't predict, but the Stanley Cup Finals might be over or might not be. So we don't fucking know, but they're in. So shouts out to Nigel's friend that said that.
Yeah, definitely.
Spence, what were your thoughts on NBA Finals? We kind of was like,
yeah, I thought we was about to move to another topic.
I was wondering what you say too, Spence.
Yeah, I want to hear your breakdown because you're a courtside correspondent.
Yeah, you already know I ain't watching the game.
I just wanted you to admit it.
Nah, you know what's crazy? I did not. I meant to watch Game 6, but some things kind of popped up, so I was sidetracked with something else. But shout outs to the Warriors, man. I didn't have a chance to watch the game necessarily or the series all the way, but like I definitely saw how like they were turning up in the Bay after they won. So of course, I'm not sure if you saw, but like we've seen them win plenty of times before, from Fab performing out there to hearing Cool John playing everything to like, I don't know, they went mayhem this time. To me, it reminded me of like, you remember when the Eagles made it to the Super Bowl one year and like they literally destroyed the whole city just to make it to the Super Bowl? Like that's what it reminded me of when I watched that. But they looked like they had a great time, man. It looked like it was a great time. Shout outs to Steph, proving once again why he's one of the superior players in the league, as well as like someone that, I mean, I've heard a couple of chatters about, I guess, where he may be ranked at this point out of like the top 10 on that all-time list, or just where he's ranked at overall on the all-time list. But outside of that, like, I mean, shout outs to Steph, shout outs to Clay, shout outs to Jordan Poole, shout outs to Draymond, shout outs to the whole team. I mean, who doesn't love winning at the end of the day? And they have a pedigree of doing it.
I mean, if you're the Boston Celtics fan, you're not a fan of Golden State winning.
Oh, you're absolutely not.
And if Boston Celtics won the series, I would have been a fan of them winning.
I'm not mad at that, though. You got to stay consistent, man.
You know what, though? Steph was playing like he had a point to prove, though, because a lot of people were saying that, if he won this fourth championship, it wouldn't mean anything. And, Steph has already proven, what else does he have to do? And then he gets a fourth chip and he gets an MVP. And they're like, oh, my God, you can't talk about Steph and not mention the top 10 anymore. I just find it fucking hilarious, like these people and their like critiques. And don't get me wrong, like everybody can be wrong and, say something that I just don't agree with. But I damn sure didn't agree with that.
Oh, man. Look, shouts out to Golden State Warriors. They could easily go back next year and win it. But let's move on, fellas.
All right. So somebody who else is moving on from their organization. We have a lot of business going on. God, Sasha Banks.
Look like you dying over there, boy.
Are you okay, Lau?
You straight, yo? Whole face turned red.
Yeah, man, that shit crazy, man. That Brazilian steakhouse, the spices.
Again to you.
It's the spices, man. It's the spices. Nah.
So Sasha Banks has been recently released from the WWE. Apparently, there were creative differences, but also this isn't the first time that she's actually walked out on the company for reasons that weren't clear. But, it seems that this is one of their worries along with other things. And this is a big issue for the WWE, that one, they lost her, and two, what else they have going on, which we'll touch on in a second. Lau, what do you think about her release?
My opinion, I think, is kind of a loss for especially for like, look, all right, so let's be real. When we're growing up watching wrestling, even watching wrestling now, unfortunately, the female wrestlers, women wrestlers are not respected as the male wrestlers, right? A lot of the bullshit back in the day, you know, brawl panty matches, lingerie, mud pit match, you know, when women get all half naked and shit. And so because when you have shit like that, wrestling fans don't take the women seriously. And because they look at it as like they're either eye candy or they're piss breaks. And that's unfortunate to the women that's working hard. Nowadays, the women these days are actually wrestling. Hence, the woman that we're mentioning now, Sasha Banks, who happens to be a cousin of Snoop Dogg. I think like first cousin too. Anyway.
Word?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
So anyway, her being released, I think that's kind of a blow to the WWE as far as like their women roster, because she's probably the most popular one. She's in The Mandalorian. You see her in all these other shits outside of wrestling, whether it's like what's that, the Hot Wing show on YouTube that's big? Hot Ones. She's on that shit. You'll see her in a random fucking like ad or commercial, whatever the fuck. Or you might see her at some award show randomly. I just feel like you don't see too many women wrestlers out there like that, like her. So I feel like losing her is kind of like a blow. And I know some people will probably be like, oh, well, they got Ronda Rousey. And I get that, but why not have two superstars versus just one? You know, that just in case when shit like this happens, you still have other superstars. You know what I mean? But we don't know the backstage politics and behind the scenes. Hopefully Sasha, or whatever the young lady's real name is, because I actually don't know her real name, hopefully she's able to find work. More than likely she'll find work. But unfortunately, that's not even the biggest news coming out of the company. Nigel, if you want to drop that bombshell and explain your thoughts.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody who's been a long time watcher of the WWE knows that Vince McMahon is usually one of the showrunners of the organization. Well, after a long time of being the head of the organization, he's finally stepped down as CEO, even though he is still in a creative position. But the reason being is because he was caught in a sex scandal. And that woman that he supposedly had sex with was on his payroll. He bumped up her pay 1 or 2 times. I think it was like from 200 to 300, and also paid her a payment of $3 million. Not only that, but she was then, quote unquote, according to the woman's friend who reported this, passed like a toy to John Laurinaitis, who supposedly did the same thing.
Yeah, so she was being passed around against her will, or taken advantage of, I would like to say.
Financially.
That's crazy.
Financially and obviously sexually.
And sexually.
You know? Yeah. So it's very unfortunate. Now, however the story got out, I don't fucking know. But if you go on ESPN, CBS Sports, all the major sport networks, it's a story that they're covering. But due to the consequences of Vince McMahon's actions and whoever else was involved, now he has to kind of step down. His daughter Stephanie took over. I think the Vince McMahon's days is nearing the end. And I'm not talking about his fucking life, but I'm talking about like him running the company is nearing the end. Whether he's going to be forced to retire completely out of anything to do with WWE, or him facing like legal actions where he has no other choice but not to, you know, do what he's super passionate about doing, which is, you know, running a wrestling company. So, I mean, Vince McMahon, man, the guy, he's been in controversies for decades. Before we were even born, he's been in controversies, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, this might be the straw that broke the camel's back, because 1, he's too fucking old, but 2, we live in a different age where you can't be getting away with that shit if it gets public, because once that shit gets public, now a lot of people no one's turning blind eyes no more. People are looking like, and you're going to have some people that's going to do deep dives and dig into shit. And right now he's being investigated. If Vince did say he did come out and say, whatever they find, I'm going to accept it. AKA he's getting ready to retire. So, or get ready to, move on to the next chapter of his life. Now, the last thing I'll say on this, Vince sleeping around with that woman and shit like that, that's his business. But for him to do it in a work setting, in a professional setting, is dead wrong. And obviously he used his, he flexed his muscle with that situation, and that was dead wrong. Now, if it was a situation where it was like him and that lady were having a personal, private relationship, and he didn't use his influence and power to control that shit, then it's just like, oh, well, that's just their business and their whatever. But the fact that he was kind of like, look, here's $3 million to, shh, don't say that, shh, and I just feel like that was wrong. So, Spence, what are your thoughts on it, man? Because I know you were a big fan of the do-rag Vince character.
Nah, you're the one with the do-rag on. What you mean, bro?
Trying to emulate him.
Wow. Far from that.
So one last time for episode 100 from my mom.
He's the do-rag king. He's took that title from Vince.
Yeah, luckily it's only us three that work on the show. So as of right now, there's no way that I can honestly say there's no scandal. But yeah, but nonetheless, though, I don't know. This is, hey man, always a huge wrestling fan, huge fan of Vince McMahon, his family, Triple H, of course. Yeah, the whole wrestling and just in general for most of our childhoods, we have to. There's some sense of like, yo, he helped build what was like a significant part of our childhoods to some extent, right? But like on the other side of it, this is kind of like another episode of that thing that you had sent me before with like the behind the scenes of like the janky stuff that goes on like in that space, man. So I don't know, to me it's unfortunate that to hear something like this, but hey, the one thing I'll say I appreciate is that, like, because from what you said, from my understanding, what you said was that he said anything they come up with, he'll fess up to. So at least he's not trying to run away or hide on an island or something janky or something like that. It's just, to me, I just think the sad thing is you shouldn't really manipulate using your power and money to get what you want. Like to me, I say it like this. If, like you said, if that was like a thing y'all had going on, and that's a thing y'all had going on, cool. But if you're using money or heck, we were just talking about how people have it hard right now. Like you go back decades, if he's doing this decades ago, the type of money he's giving to somebody is life-changing. Well, it's life-changing money to anybody even today. So like it's some stuff like that is just, you shouldn't do. Long story. It's so many words, but yeah, it's kind of sick seeing that. But yeah, hopefully with something like, hopefully the thing they learn from this is like they find ways of putting certain things in place. And I think to me, I would assume that there's some of those things are in place from what you said, Lau, of just how, well, not necessarily, but like earlier with like women wrestling, like where before they used to kind of like sexualize them so much more back then. So, and I don't watch wrestling today like that, so I wouldn't be able to tell. But yeah, like hopefully they find some type of protocol where these type of events don't happen, because you shouldn't be using the weight of your bank account or anything to try to force someone into something that they don't want to do.
Yeah.
The Vince McMahon movie is going to be crazy. Like when this is all said and done, you know what I mean? Like when you said the documentary, I'm just thinking about the whole story of like, essentially, I don't want to say the rise and fall of the WWE because we're not there yet, but I mean, it feels like this could be it if it goes in the wrong direction.
Hey man, well, we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see, because if the WWE collapses, I think that'll be a big talking point for entertainment across the board. We're talking about this fucking entity that's been there before we were even fucking born. So, And that's like the NFL collapsing. That's a big talking point. Like how the fuck did that happen? Type shit. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
Yeah, it's like a well-oiled machine. It should be running itself. It should be protected from bullshit. But hey, we're gonna see, man. We've seen crazy shit already in the past couple of years. So this could be another crazy thing that we're seeing moving forward. But moving forward, another big giant in the entertainment industry is releasing a big season 2 update for a show that I know I liked. I can't remember if you two guys liked. Netflix listeners have decided to greenlit season 2 of the Squid Game, the hit show from Korea. And on top of that, there's also going to be a reality, what would you call it? A reality-based competition show of the Squid Game as well, where I believe the prize is over $4 million.
4.56 million.
There you go. And no, listeners, there will be nobody dying. There's no gore involved. So for all you sick freaks out there that was hoping for that, you could continue to go to hell and dream about it there. I liked season 1 of Squid Game. I thought it was a surprise show for me. I enjoyed it. I'm definitely looking forward to season 2. I'm going to watch the competition show as well, just to see if it's going to be crazy or if it's going to be bullshit. What do you guys think?
I'm excited for this. Like, I enjoyed season 1. I thought it was a pretty good show. I'm definitely going to be watching season 2 just because season 1 was so crazy, but I'm curious to know what type of story they're going to tell. Like, is he going to go back for revenge? Like, I have no idea what they're going to do now.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the big question mark, man, because even the writer, he initially, I think he shopped this series around for like 8 or 9 years, almost 10 years or something.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah. So like he only had one season. He only thought of one season for the 10 years. So it's interesting to see how this one's going to go. Cause I think they said they brought in more writers to kind of help them, but you also know how that could be good or that could be bad depending on who's doing it, right? There's some people that make fortunes off writing the same movie over and over again, and there's other people that say, hey, we're going to switch it up. So it's going to be interesting to see. Honestly, it would be dope if he ends up becoming the guy in the long run, like the person that like runs this whole thing. So I mean, I have heard theories where they may just pick up and do pretty much the same thing over again, but it would be in a different, in a different country, essentially.
I mean, that'd be interesting. I don't know.
Why not? I mean, I'm not saying it needs to be it needs to be in Korea or it needs to be in a particular area or region, but I mean, why not? Do whatever you want. It's not like there was like some type of continuity to go off of. This was just kind of like a fresh show. Like you said, the guy was shopping this shit around for years.
Yeah.
So now Netflix, since they know that they can make a lot of money from it and keep their platform alive, because, they're on the verge of losing million subscribers for ads being placed in Netflix soon. They're like, yo, take all the money that you fucking need to make this show. On top of that, we're going to give you a competition show that I know personally that Nigel signed up for because he wants to go for the $4.5 million.
Nope.
You don't want 4.5 million, 4.56, 4.56, whatever you want to call it, $1 million cash. It's a cash prize.
You don't want that, Nigel? You don't want that money? You don't want to be rich?
Nobody would say no to that amount of money. I'm assuming neither of you guys would say no to $4.56 million.
I'm never going to say no to million anything. I'm just not going to join the show like you.
Yeah, neither did I. See, that's the thing.
But
I didn't do it either.
You already said you was trying to look into joining the show.
I never said that. One show I would do Big Brother, because I feel like that'd be kind of fun.
All right, so you're gonna do Big Brother for 100,000,
but you won't do a game show for $4.5 million, 4.56 million dollars.
I just didn't sign up for it. That's the thing. I'm not saying who would turn down that money. Who would turn down that money?
Question.
I hear what you're saying. I know. I get what you're saying.
So you'll play for 100,000. Yo,
I'm not saying I wouldn't play the game. I didn't sign up for the game. I'm not so giddy to play the game.
I'll play for 100,000, but 4 million, no, can't take that.
Y'all know that is not what I was saying.
You said it in your own words, bro. I'm go straight to Big Brother. It's public knowledge they're paying 100,000.
Yeah, know what I'm saying.
And after Uncle Sam take his cut, you really walk home with what, spent 60, 70?
Nah, I might get 60. They're not paying you 400. That's
you might walk, for real, you might walk away with like 45. For real.
There you go.
Damn.
Because you gotta pay the outer state fee. Yeah. And after you pay the outer state fee, you gotta pay the traveling fees.
Jesus.
CBS, Viacom, they're gonna take their cut out of your earnings.
Y'all should sign up for the Squid Game game. That shit sounds like y'all really want to go.
On top of it, now that he won, right? He gonna be there for a couple more days. So he gonna say, yo, I just won 100,000. I could be, we shopping all Chanel for the week.
Like, you already know. Come on.
You already know that's cheap. Him staying at the hotel out there. That's another 10 grand.
Come on.
By the time he come home, he gonna
be asking for a loan just to pay his taxes.
Yeah, you're right. He got to pay taxes on it. So by the time he get home, he only gonna get 5,000 in his pocket. When he could have just joined the Squid Game and came home with $3 million after all the taxes, and he still would have been rich.
But you know what he gonna say? Nah, bro. After taxes and everything, it's the 100,000, 4.5 million. It's all the same money. Once you take taxes and everything, it's the same money, bro.
Silver linings.
It's in the UK, so when you switch the pounds and the dollars, and the pounds, you know what I'm saying? So he gonna come up with some excuse. He's gonna be like,
silver linings. That's what it is. Come on.
Silver linings. What are you talking about?
That's when you make the best of a bad situation.
Never mind.
It's a situation you put yourself in when you could have competed for the 4.5 billion.
I ain't signed up for shit.
So you said the silver lining is $100,000 and not $4 million.
I didn't sign up for either game show. So I'm not doing one of these.
I'm just trying to understand the math you do, man.
I know it's crazy. Nigel, 100,000, Jesus.
I know. I hear you.
Someone definitely traded you $1 for $5 before.
Yeah, damn, bro. Suck at you.
Yeah, Nigel, give me that $5 and I'm gonna give you this $1.
Damn, all right, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, Nigel, let me borrow $100. All right, you never see it again. But for real though, like all jokes aside, this Squid Game show, I think it's gonna be interesting because apparently they're basing it off of like people. They're looking for 456 people going through financial hardships, and like the writer, I guess he made the show. When he was writing the shows during the recession, so I don't know. It looks like we made this. This will probably help out some people. I'm curious to see the level of complexity. To me, that's the real question. Like, what's the level of complexity you think is going to be for that type of cash prize?
You know what I think it's going to be? I think it's going to be like they go to the UK or some shit where they have some games, some kid games that people don't know about. Because that's what made the first season kind of fun. Like, it's these random ass games they play in Korea that nobody's ever heard of. And they did that shit and people died over it.
Yeah, but it's traditional games to them. That would be no different than like if they did it in America, it's like, yo, we're going to do Miss Mary Matt. Like, if you don't know Miss Mary Matt, you're going to get clipped off.
That's wild, yeah. Jesus.
It's like, or, you got to jump rope for 5 minutes, for 2 minutes.
Double dutch.
You got to double dutch for 2 minutes straight. What? Clip? Like that. I mean, in terms of like the characters, like if you take America, I think that's the interesting part. They'll probably just, like you said, take games from that place, but they'll have to pick the right people. I was hoping they would do it like in that country though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just so it's like that parallel of like the real Squid Games happen here and the the show Squid Games happen here, it would be pretty dope.
Oh no, I know a lot of people are looking forward to it though, and I know a lot of people were looking forward to seeing the X-Men or the Double XL freshman list for this year. And I know that
dying over Double Dutch is crazy, yo.
It is.
That's
it's a very wild concept.
Yo, they should bring Squid Games to America. That would be interesting.
They brought the new Double XL freshman to America, guys. What do you think of the list?
That's the Squid Games of hip hop for real, for real.
Is it? Explain.
So now I'm gonna break down this theory that I do not have.
Okay.
I mean, I think in terms of like the Double XL freshman list, right? For years and years, like it started at like this high arc years ago, and like slowly but surely it's had its fading moments based off the trends of hip hop. To me, I think this is, I mean, it's kind of like a game to some extent, because like some people are always going to be there because of their affiliation, blah 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 blah. But honestly, like out of all of those rappers on there, I think I only knew like 3 or 4 of them. Big 30, Big Scar, Babyface Ray, and there was like one other rapper. Everybody else is new, never heard of these guys.
So just like you, Spence, I didn't know everybody on the cover, but I definitely knew Babyface Ray. You know, I spoke fondly of him. I knew about Big Scar, signed to Gucci, Big 30. He's tied in with like CMG and Pooh Shiesty and shit. I know about Babytron, you know, Detroit rapper. He's funny. Babytron.
Never listened to him.
I don't know who Babytron is.
Najee knows him, so I'm not the only one. I know about the Callie. She's a female rapper. I knew about her, and the reason why I know about her is through another female artist named Enchanting, and I know you guys know about Enchanting. They made like a song together. And far as the people that I know for music that I've heard before, that's it. The rest of them I've never heard of. Spence, I know that you were a fan of Saul Santana.
I knew you were gonna beat me to that joke, man.
I was waiting who was gonna say it first.
I'm just saying.
I was about to lob it to Notch.
I do, bro. No, I do, because it's so funny. I'm sitting here listening to you and shit like that, and I'm like, all right, he's saving off. I was like, hold up, he's missing somebody.
Yep.
So I'll say
over.
Yeah. Yo, tell the people you like
listen.
Yeah, you tell the people you like listening to Saul Santana.
Listen,
it's all good though.
Listen, I'll say this: whatever you like listening to is whatever you like listening to.
Right, and you're a fan. You like
Saucy.
Personally,
the only rappers I listen to off this list are Nardo Wick,
Saucy,
Big Scar, Big 30. I barely listen to Babyface Ray, and there's like, and that's it. I thought the one dude was what's his face? I don't listen.
Come on, so you know what's his face? Who's that one dude? Come on,
wow! You're talking about from the Breakfast Club?
No, I'm talking about like you. You're acting like you don't know who Saul Santana is.
No. I'm talking about it was somebody. No, it was another one of the rappers on there. Looked like Gunna.
See how he keeps trying to deflect.
Yo, so did y'all watch did y'all ever see that clip from
He did it again.
Breakfast Club? No, this is what he's doing. You seen that clip from the Breakfast Club?
Which one?
Which one?
When I think it was like Saucy Santana came up there, and I guess Charlamagne was like, hey, one of the guys here, he said he likes your videos.
Nah.
I'll send it to you.
Was it like something on the Shade Room or some shit like that?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
I just was randomly on YouTube, and I just check out Breakfast Club from time to time.
Oh. Yeah. So, Nigel, before we move on, because this next topic, Nigel, he's been foaming at the mouth to talk about.
I haven't said anything about the Double XL freshman.
Yeah.
No, but let me finish. Let me finish.
Just skip past.
Let me finish. I was about to ask him what was his thoughts of the Double XL freshman cover, and who was his favorite artist that he streamed and helped him get on the cover.
So I'm pretty sure I'm the only person in here who's listening to Saucy Santana.
What?
Yeah, Nicole
Yo,
showed me
I
some of
told
his
you he was
music.
a real fan.
Nicole showed me some of his music.
shit.
I have heard a
I'm
couple
sorry,
of his songs.
Spence.
Yo,
I'm sorry. I
thank you.
apologize, Spence.
I'm not saying I'm an
I
avid listener of
apologize.
his, but
You've
I have
been
heard his
forgiven.
music before. It is what
You've
it
been
is.
forgiven.
Thank you, Spence. I appreciate your forgiveness.
Yo, listen,
Damn,
man.
Nigel, I didn't know it was you. So you the Song Santana fan.
I'm not a fan, but I mean, I have heard his
be
music
doing it.
before.
So
You be
that's why
listening to-
you
you be
that's why
listening
you
to his
shaved your
music?
head.
You be listening to his music.
That's why I say that's a wild reason to shave my head, yeah. To be like Saucy Santana, that's wild.
Hey, man. Hey, yo, if you're a fan, bro, go for it, man.
That's wild, yo. Nah, honestly, I would say the biggest thing that I already knew was gonna happen on here was Babyface Ray. I think that he definitely deserves a spot on this list. The biggest surprise for me was seeing Baby Tron on here.
Baby Tron, bro.
I was very surprised to see Baby Tron.
I was surprised too. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
Shouts out to
that's-
Baby Tron.
Yeah, shouts out to Baby Tron. He made it. You can't hate on it. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Apparently, I'm checking Double XL. I'm seeing who he is. Apparently, he was the 10th spot winner. So he literally was the last person they picked on this list.
Oh, so it's like a fan vote.
I know you've been fiending for this because you hate Drake vehemently.
All right. I'm gonna let it start right there, actually. So, listeners, as you probably have heard by now, Drake has put out his 7th album, a surprise album. Honestly, Nevermind has came out. Now, I know that previously on the podcast, we have talked about Drake putting out an all singing album, and we did that. So I know Spence was in his bed, kicking his feet, giddy as could be, listening to this album, so ready to listen to Drake.
Yeah, just like you be listening to Saucy Santana.
So what did you think of the album, Spence? I know you were so excited.
So funny enough, I didn't listen to the album until like 16 hours after it dropped. So like I was literally ducking and dodging views, listener, and like even y'all text messages. I put my whole phone on do not disturb for the whole day.
You light
Anything
a candle?
Do
you light a candle? Have a little seance?
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? All I did was watch Dr. Umar videos for the day, man.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Happy Juneteenth
With this album
again.
playing in the background.
You just have Dr. Umar on mute.
Oh man, yeah.
Shit.
To be like all jokes aside though, Lau actually hit me about the album and I hadn't listened to it yet. So I finally decided to play it. I was like, one thing that stuck out to me first is that I saw that it was a dance album because I did get some sneak peek to some of the hate that was going on out in the space of the world. And I'm not gonna lie to you. To me personally, I think this is a great Drake album. I don't put it high in terms of like it's not a top 3 or top 4 album, but to me, I think in terms of him expanding his sound, 1, 2, willing to just not necessarily even really, he's expanding his sound, but for the most part, he's just giving us the Drake we've always listened to before. In terms of like what we've heard in different albums before, what might be 1 or 2 songs, we're getting a 1 full album this time. And on top of it, to me, I feel like this is the birth child of More Life in terms of like just the sound of it. Because this is like a house album, to be honest with you. This is like world music. To me, I and just in so many words, I just thought it was a great album for the most part. How about yourself? Well, how about Lau? I'd rather you go first because I already have an idea what Najel's going to say.
All right. So
then again, I've seen Najel at festivals, so he might like this album.
That's a fair point. You got a point there. You have seen me at a couple festivals now.
Yeah.
All right. So listeners, the album to me was mid at best. I didn't hate this album like a lot of people hated it. I think the hate it came from people who only listen to the crybaby whining autotune, or they just listen to nothing but like boom bap rap. So I feel like I mean, my honest opinion, I think a lot of the hate came from people who are diverse in their music taste. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the biggest R&B listener or the biggest rock genre listener or the biggest motherfucking funk band listener. I'm not saying none of that. All I'm saying is that to me, the album wasn't that fucking bad as what the internet was making it out to be. Was it a great album? To me, it wasn't a great album, but I don't think it was Drake's worst. I still think like Thank Me Later is fucking poop compared to this. So, but what I will say about Honestly Nevermind is there are some songs on there, and I'm not talking about Jimmy Cooks because that's the song that everybody, everybody likes that song. Let's get that out the way. That's the only rap song on the fucking album. What was that other song? Stinky or whatever. There was another one. All right, Jimmy Cooks was the rap song that everybody keeps talking about. So let's get that out the way. I'm talking about the other fucking songs where he's singing and shit, and motherfuckers hate that. There were some singing songs out of Honestly Nevermind that I did enjoy. I'm sorry, listeners. You guys could go to hell if you disagree with me. You probably will go to hell. Falling Back was the shit to me. I enjoyed it. I was like, I fucked with it. It's like Passion Fruit 2.0. Fuck it. Tex Go Green. It's not like my super favorite song, but I enjoyed it enough to keep it on the phone. And then there's other gems like fucking what's that shit? Flights Booked and Liability. So there was songs here and there, but I didn't hate the album. I didn't hate it. It's not my favorite, but I didn't hate it. There's some songs I'll keep. That's how I've seen it. I got more in depth, but I want to hear Naja's.
Me personally, I didn't think this album was all that bad. I listened to it a few times just to kind of get a really good viewpoint on it. And I didn't think it was the worst album I've ever heard. It's a dance album. I've listened to other EDM dance type albums. I'm a big fan of like Daft Punk and, know a few other people and whatever, but like, it's to me, the way I see it is like, I feel like the criticisms it's getting, it deserves. It does kind of sound like it can blend into each other and sound the same throughout, especially if you get past like the first 5 songs or so. You know what I mean? Me personally, I like the songs where he rapped. I thought that was cool. I thought the beat selection on here was good. Excuse me. Joe Budden said that there might he would like it if this song was or this album was just an instrumental album. I feel the same. Like, I honestly couldn't just listen to these beats alone and kind of been all right. But I mean, I think it is cool that he tried something different. I mean, why not? I feel like it's gonna sell a lot of records. That is the one thing that's kind of bothering me about it. It's not even like the album itself. It's you got a group of people who love the album, you got a group of people who hate the album. But then you got a group of people who secretly don't like the album, but they just said, oh, it's going to sell a lot of records. Oh, you won't understand this unless you were on Molly in Greece with women. Like, a lot of people.
Joe Budden.
A lot of people aren't those people. You know what I mean? How would you know that? You weren't doing that while you were listening to this.
Not only that, a lot of people see. Forgive me, guys. I'm not trying to fucking brag. I've been to Greece, all right, and I'm telling you. Greece, the motherfuckers over there, they listen to the same shit that we listen to. They might listen to their local talent, but I kid you not, I was overseas and there's one motherfucking woman. She was like, yo, do you fuck with this? You fuck with that? You fuck with this? And I'm like, damn, I didn't even know you guys listen to that. So I'm telling you right now, whoever was saying shit like that, they ain't never been a Greece partying before, because I'm telling you right now, they listen to the same shit that we do. So I'm not saying that it's far-fetched to hear Drake in Greece, but it's not like this is exclusive for fucking foreigners and all they listen to is EDM and EDM, house, techno-eccentric fucking music. No, it's not like that. So I feel like that's like a crappy take. And I just feel like this album is, I mean, it is what it is. It's a dance album. It's not that deep. We don't need to deep dive into it. We don't need to dissect it. It's a dance album. Drake wanted to put in a dance album out there. This is my theory, and I'll shut up so this way you guys can get your final thoughts and shit. My theory is this. Drake worked on some shit. Hey, fuck it. I'm gonna throw this out there. I know I'm gonna go number one and make money, but this ain't the real rap album. Look what happened. He threw the shit out. He got all sorts of fucking people from demographics fucking with it. Some people obviously are not fucking with it. And now the motherfucker go number one. The hot breaking records for a fucking dance record. Broke the fucking record. He just threw it. There you go. Motherfucker number one. I'm just saying, like, you know, he knew what he was doing with this shit. He did. He knew. He would. I'll tell you what. Drake would have never put this out if he knew this shit was going to be universally panned. The fact that this is a universally panned, he already fucking succeeded with what he was aiming to do. That's why he said, "Oh, if you guys don't like it, it don't matter. You know, you guys will catch up." And I already see some people online talk about the albums growing on them. It's fucking crazy.
I mean, it's something like this though, man. It's
He just muted himself.
Yeah. But nah, yeah, something like this, man, I'll say is interesting. Like I think what Drake is doing is to get farther than what like a lot of people are expecting. But to me, I think like putting something like this out, one, like you said, you gotta honor it as a dance album. At the end of the day, it's not a rap album. He raps on a couple songs. He raps over like a Jersey club beat, which if you understand like some of the things that go on today, it kind of makes sense as to why he did it. Especially like in a younger sound. Because to me, this album kind of hits either a more mature or more like, or someone with more like a broader taste in music, or someone that's like super young. Like it's not for to me, I don't think he's making this for like those people that are in between necessarily, that, oh, I grew up on Nothing Was the Same. Like, oh, Nothing Was the Same was like when I fell in love with Drake. No, it's not one of those. It's like, hey, this is one of those albums where, and the younger crowd, they got like the little dances that go to club music that kind of fits into this house thing. For an older crowd, to me personally, I listen to this type of music. I listen to music that sounds more like this more often than I do rap music to some extent.
Spence, what?
Yeah, bro. I'm so serious.
You out of the out of the decade plus that we knew you. This is the first time. I'm not saying that you don't like house music. I'm not saying that's fine. But for you to say, yo, I listen to more house music.
Why? I never said house music. I said I listen to more music that sounds like this. I listen to more alternative music. I listen to electric music. I listen to rock music. I listen to more of that than I listen to hip hop at this point. Just because I've listened. So
at this point,
at this point today, yes.
Before we met you back in,
when you met me, that's when this started. Back when you met me, I was listening to music that would be like samples of like old Japanese alternative music or like old rock alternative music. So like I have a taste for this type of music to some extent.
I'm just surprised. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you lied.
You can't tell me I'm wrong because I know who I am.
I'm not saying you lied. It's an interesting.
It is kind of interesting. It is.
It's just how you gonna tell me?
It's just interesting. It is. I'm not telling you nothing, Spence. All I'm saying, this is an interesting. This is breaking news to me.
Nah, bro. I mean, I figured y'all probably realize. Oh, I'll put it like this. I'll listen to rap music, but more often than not, like I listen to, like, to me, I'll listen to something that's, well, I have some guilty pleasures I'm not going to say online.
Why not? Why they're not wrong? You like, if you like Miley Cyrus or
I don't listen to Miley Cyrus. I don't listen to Miley Cyrus. I listen to Lana Del Rey, but like,
why is that a thing to be ashamed of?
No, that's not a guilty pleasure. I have other music that I listen to that's more guilty pleasure than that.
I'm about to send you some shit now. Let's see if you tell her the truth. I'm about to send you some shit.
I'm not. Well, I'll listen to it after the show's over with.
Yeah, no doubt. Of course.
Do we have anything else to say about this album?
Yeah, he totally stepped on whatever. I forget what I was even going to say.
Yeah,
Well,
Spence was going to talk, man.
Well, I'll just say this at the end of it. To me, some of my favorite songs off of this were Current, Calling My Name, Sticky, Overdrive, along with a couple other joints. Like overall, to me, I thought the album was really great. To me, like I said, this is like something I would play. This is like the type of music I could definitely wake up to. Like it's the weekend, I'm about to get my day started, type of thing. Like I could listen to this more than like, I don't know, certain stuff. I don't like listen to certain music first thing in the morning like that anymore. So like I'm not listening to someone shooting guns in my ear like at 7:00 in the morning, man.
I mean, why not?
Nah, I'm cool on that.
If that's the type of music you enjoy.
I mean, yeah. I mean, hey, look, hey man, what's the golden rule?
There's a couple golden rules that I've heard.
You know the golden rule I'm talking about.
I know which one you're talking about.
Okay,
that's not for the listeners. What's all you have to do?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
What's all you? Do we have anything else for the listeners?
Yes. My bad, Spence. You want to say what you got to say first? Or? All right, listeners, I'll tell you something right now. If you haven't already, and I'm assuming, Spence, you've already have. If you haven't, then this goes for you too. I know Nigel has because we talked about it. Listeners, what y'all motherfuckers need to do is you need to read a book or listen to a book by Robert Kiyosaki named Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's a good book. It'll help enlighten your mind with shit. And you should read it. Even if you're making good fucking money, you should still read it. I'm telling you right now, it's a good read. And I think what I'm going to start doing, listeners, is recommending books for you guys to read because a lot of y'all motherfuckers are dumb. All right, that's all I have to say. Shouts out to the listeners, though. We love y'all. That's all I have to say. Y'all motherfuckers just sit there giggling. You watch the Saucy Santana. I see it, Nigel.
Nah, I'm not interested.
Yeah, he waiting for. He's like, yo, as soon as Spence goes, I can finally play my Saucy Santana.
That's some wild shit. Like, what type of guy do y'all think I am? Y'all know me pretty well.
Nigel, is it Saucy Santana or Sauce Santana?
If I'm not mistaken, it's Saucy Santana.
Oh, you know. You know.
I'm not mistaken.
Don't get on me, Mr. Oh, I don't know who that last guy is. Like, you knew who he was. You just didn't want to say his name. So let's not go there. Let's be real. Let's be real.
No, he's talking to you, Spence.
The last guy. What are you talking about?
Come on. Come on, yo.
Hold on. What are you talking about?
All right. Do we have anything else for the listeners?
No, that's it. Just drink your lead, drink your Hennessy, eat fast food, avoid water.
Scratch everything that he said. Scratch everything he said. It's irrelevant at this point. Drink your water, get your fresh fruit. It's the summertime, you know what I'm saying? Fun in the sun. Everything's looking nice. It's episode 100. Make sure you grab, you know what I'm saying? It's Juneteenth, so I hope you celebrate it right. So get the, you know what I'm saying? Yes. In the words of Dr. Umar, get the nutrients in your body. In the words of Dr. Sebi, get the nutrients in your body. Get your body right. Get your mind right. Summer 22. Who knows? It's a wild year. So, you know what I'm saying? Eat your fresh fruit. Drink your water. That's all I got to say. Also, make sure y'all follow us on Instagram at the Highly Advised Podcast. Check us out on Twitter at Advised Highly. And on top of it, if you want to see our faces more often, especially for the 100th episode, go and check us out on YouTube at the Highly Advised Podcast, or just type in the Highly Advised Podcast. You'll find us. But yeah,
just Cash App. Drop the Cash App.
Yeah, get on the Cash App. Get on the Cash App. You know what I'm saying? Highly Advised. What's the Cash App?
$ highly advised. $ highly advised.
Spence, I got this hot sauce made out of collard greens, and I think you'd find it to be interesting. Yeah, see, you're intrigued. I know you are. I'll show you.
I want to know how you got hot sauce that was made out of collard. No. Let's talk about it right now.
No, we'll talk about it. Listeners, you have been highly advised.
Sasha.